Hello, hello. Let's see. Hello, hello. Let's see. Okay, I think this is working. Hi, I see that there are people here, at least 6 people. And welcome to Practice and Chat. So I wish I could see you. Hold on just a minute. It's my first time, so I don't really know how to do stuff. Hi, okay. There we go. I'm going to assign Sunshine as the moderator because I plan to be playing and just have this time. So welcome. The purpose of this time is to just engage with you because I know you see my videos and sometimes you have questions that you'd like to be able to ask and get answers right away. And it's, you know, my opportunity to also just be more relaxed. When I make videos, it's usually with a purpose. And this is a little bit more casual. So how do I start my practice? And why do I want to have a practice and chat session? Because I actually don't practice very much. I say this in my videos too, so it's true. Because being a teacher and a content creator, like it takes up all my, not only all my time, but also my thinking energy. So I really have hardly any time to really think about practicing my own stuff. I hope to make more time for that. And I thought, hey, if I do this, I will probably end up practicing a little bit more. So, okay, so Sunshine says everything looks nice and clear. Okay, so you can hear me, you can see me, great. This part of playing and talking doesn't stress me out, but it's all the techie stuff that stresses me out a little bit. So I think everything's working. So I wanna just show you how I might practice. And I haven't practiced, as I said. And one of the ways that I love to start is just doing contra-emotion technical exercises. So if you're working on your 5-finger scales or something, it would just be. I like to do arpeggios. I think I've talked about it in some of my videos. I like contrary motion because it just helps me to like engage in a more symmetrical way, right? Before we do a lot of asymmetric things and a lot of coordination challenges. There's a little bit of a coordination challenge here too, but it's still, you know, engaging your brain in this symmetrical way. It takes a little bit of like repetition to just get to a point where it comes more naturally and easier. So I'm gonna do like a few different keys. That was C. So So the topography of this is different. There's one black key. So I have to be mindful of that. And I'm remembering the directions. When I go away from the middle of the keys, it's a flatter fingers. And when I go to towards the middle of the keys, it's knuckles. Okay, so nails and knuckles. Engage your breath as you practice these. You're not reading music. You have less to think about. You're just really focusing on your technique through the technical exercises you already know. So engage your breathing. Just be aware of your body. Yeah, let's see. Let's do like B. That's a different kind of topography, right? So I just start slow to kind of measure the distances. I'm noticing that it's like the sound is a little bit like thin and not as full, and it's because I'm kind of like pulling my hands to the middle instead of letting it move fluently and naturally. And you can tell my left hand is not as fluent as my right hand. So lack of practice. So when you're doing your technical exercises, remember, just like engage with your body and remember my technical exercise videos or technique videos, 101, 102, 103. Those are really gems. Those are the things that I learned as like my lifetime of learning, but especially as a piano teacher. I learned from many different sources, and then I tried it on my students, and that's how I came up with a list of things that you can work on. And remember that it's a three-dimensional movement. It's not up and down, it's side, right? You're going side, you're going in and out, you're going there. You want to incorporate all of that. So that was like my little bit of technical exercises. Let's see if I have any. Oh, hi and hello greetings from Brazil. I've been to Brazil. I would love to go back. Obrigada. Congrats for your channel. Thank you. Okay, if you don't have any more questions, I'm gonna go through a few things. Thank you for all the hearts. Yay. So I'm trying to actually memorize this piece. So these are my real practices. And I felt a little bit tempted to practice before this practice chat session. Like, oh my gosh, I better practice for my practice and chat session. But I thought, no, I'm not gonna do it. I haven't practiced. I'm just gonna like come and do my real practice. And yes, I love the shirt, right? Like, here we go. That's what happens. Coffee has the same effect. I got this shirt from my one of my dear friends and one of my students, Dick. Dick, if you're watching, thank you. But going back to what I'm practicing, I'm trying to memorize this piece. It's called Novelette in C by Poulenc. Poulenc was a French composer, and I a lot of times come to know pieces because of my students. They start playing something, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I love this piece. So I kind of fell in love with this piece a few years ago, and I played it, but I would like to be able to like memorize it. So why don't I actually just start by playing the whole piece for you? And then I'm gonna try to go a little bit further on my memorization and maybe talk you through it. Okay, let me see if there are any. Catherine, hello. Tony, hello. Yeah, I have to wear my reading glasses for reading closer. Okay, here it is, novelette. I better keep my glasses on. I would love to play this for Christmas. It just has this sense of like holiday. So that's Poulenc's Novelette 1. And my goal, let me see. Your shirt is like the cover of a Genesis album. Then there were 3. Yes. think I'm going to make this shirt famous. Novelette in C major, yes. Gorgeous, yes. Yeah. So when you're memorizing something, think about memorizing a speech. You can learn word by word, and you do need to do that. But before you start that, it's really helpful to understand the structure, the outline. And that's what really helps with memorizing music too. So if you don't speak English, but people who don't speak English can learn a speech, right, in English, and they can like recite it like amazingly. But then when they don't practice, they lose it. But if you understand English and you understand the gist of a speech, you could probably like make up something. And that's what I try to do with my students and with myself, because then your memorization lasts longer. And if you forget something, you have this facility, mechanism to bring it back because you understand the gist of the piece. So the first thing I have to understand is the key, which is in C. But it goes to this, it ends in G, which happens a lot in music. It goes to its dominant key. It ends in its dominant key. That's a G major chord. But three lines into it, we end there, and it already feels like that's home. So the composer already kind of changed its key. And that's really crucial in memorization, because if I don't understand that, I'm going to be lost as to what's happening. So let me try to like memorize it as best as I could. Okay. So I have played it multiple times, so I'm not like one of those people who can play once and memorize it. So I have played it, and I have tried to memorize it a little bit. But I don't know where I'm at, so I'm going to just try. So this is the first time we get this F sharp. We're moving into the key of G. Yeah, we're in between keys now. Okay, that's where I can't remember what happens. I can remember the melody. Okay, so it's gonna go between G chord and C chord. So that ends in G. So with like 2 minutes, I'm gonna just try to like clarify this particular spot for myself. So when I play the next time, I just have a more comprehension of what's going on. Ooh, that's a major 7th chord. So we already have this kind of a modern jazzy sound there. Oh, that's beautiful. C. No. That's like a B minor chord. That's an A minor chord. Okay. that melody? Okay, I think that's really helpful. So I just did a YouTube video about chords. So even in classical music, if you understand chords or harmony, you can chunk that information you need, right? It's not like, oh, I have to play C and then F, like all of these together. If you can understand like, oh, this is actually just a G chord, then it gives you the ability, it just gives you the confidence to play. Because if you can't remember it, but you can remember the G chord, you can play it. Okay, so before I read the comments, I'm going to try to memorize that much. Okay. It's a little bit like hard to try to memorize this and focus on this while people are watching me, but I'll try. So I know I made there are a couple of spots where I had a harder time, but the chord analysis actually really helped me. That C and then B minor, A minor, G major 7 chord. I could remember this because I could remember that melody. So piano is polyphonic, but in our head, we can only sing one note at a time. We can feel the chord, but we can sing one note at a time. And that's the melody. So as you're playing the whole thing, you still have to like have one thing that's going to help you to understand the movement of the music, and that's melody. So sometimes my students are playing really like advanced classical music, and I said, well, can you sing the melody? And they have a hard time singing the melody because they're thinking all the notes, okay? But in the long run, if you cannot remember the melody is the song, you're not gonna have great memory or the understanding of the music. Okay, so I think we can go on. Yeah, I'm practicing, but I'm also making a lot of comments about how to practice it, and I hope that's helpful. Someone said, you know, melody is like ice cream. Even if it's not great, it's great, right? Who doesn't like ice cream? So you really, really, really have to know and sing the melody in your head. And then earlier I talked about understanding the structure. So work on that as well. Whatever piece you're working on, it's you know, it's quite common in jazz or modern music to have like, oh yeah, this is the chorus or verse. We don't think about, I mean, we do think about it in terms of like sonata form or something, but in a smaller chunks, it's really also helpful to understand harmonic progression or chord progression. So let me see. Oh, I'm so glad the piano sounds good. So that was like the hardest part of this whole thing, because I want to make sure you can hear me, but getting a grand piano to sound good on a live is not easy. And I didn't want to use a digital piano because, you know, this grand piano is so beautiful. There's a whole story to this grand piano, which is a Bechstein. If you go to my website, there's a blog I wrote about this piano as well as the other pianos I've had in my life. Let's see. Great analogy, thank you. Memorize chord progressions, yep, yeah. Hi, Patrick. Hi. Finger exercise on my piano. Yes, I love it. I would love it if you just practice with me. Hi, Ken. Yes, I know you're in my course. Talk about how to play the piano without looking at our hands. What exercises are best to develop this important skill? Yeah. I think this is where people who started as children have great advantage. It's time helps because you're befriending this physical equipment, and it's the repetitions understanding the distance. So I'm actually going to talk a little bit more about that too. There's going to be a video on YouTube about feeling intervals. One of the things that we know as piano players is when we see the music, we know that that's what kind of interval and how our fingers feel when we play those notes. And that comes with times. So it's intuitively teaching yourself through repetition. And that's why we do our exercises, like 5-finger scales or full scales and chord exercises, arpeggios, because these make up the basic units of music. And it's not because we want to perform our arpeggios, but arpeggios and scales are hidden everywhere. Chords are hidden everywhere. All of these elements come to make music. So the more you can, Ken, you're in my course, so there's a whole module on 5-finger scales, and you might look at every lesson and be like, oh my God, why did she make lesson on every single key? I didn't have to do that. I could have been like, oh, just practice. But I did it because people don't always, oftentimes, I wouldn't say always, more often people don't understand the expectation of how to practice. And that's to practice slowly and perfectly, at least on those technical exercises. Because if you can do those technical exercises perfectly without thinking intuitively, you set yourself up for learning more pieces. And then you're going to realize that, oh, my finger knows. And, I can say this because I taught students. You don't know until you get there. And you get there and you're like, oh, all those things that I did, yes, I see it in this piece. This comes easy to me because I did that exercise. So I hope that answers some of your questions. And Ken, of course, you can reach out by the comment in my course as well as email as well. And then going back to what I said about understanding the outline of the music, right? So this is why when I made those pieces in Simple and Beautiful Piano, I really teach by section, because if you can understand that, oh, this is the section and this is the next section, and I repeat that first section, you just have, you're chunking that information already, rather than, oh, play these 2 notes, and then it's these 2 notes. See how that's so many information? So you want to remember things in patterns as much as possible. All right, let's see. Playing the piano is similar to typing. Skilled typists don't look at their hands. Time and practice. Yes, absolutely. I was a good typer when I took that course. I don't know if do kids take those courses? When you think about it. But it's much harder than typing, because in typing, you don't press 2 things together. In piano, we press several things with our right hand and several things with our left hand, and different kind of coordination. In typing, the rhythm doesn't matter, right? You can do as fast as you want or slow as you want. But in music, the hard thing is actually keeping the time while you're executing these things. Not just fast timing. People are obsessed with playing fast. I'm really against that. But playing slow is also a difficult thing to learn because it takes so much control. I mean, think about life. right? Going hard, going fast is hard, and then when you slow down, it's even harder. And music reflects life in that way. I should call this like practice chat philosophy or something. Oh, Tony D. Yeah, I have a program. Go to, can somebody put my link to the course, which is livelovepiano.com / join us. That's the simple and beautiful piano for adult beginners. And you're going to have plenty of things to work on in that course, you know, minimum 6 months with all that I have added at this point. Okay, so playing the piano is, okay. I've been doing the 5-finger scales in every octave, and I feel like it's helping, even though it's probably driving my neighbors nuts. My siblings talk about, oh my gosh, my brother and sister. I used to do competitions, so in competitions we like to do like obscure pieces, not something like Fur-Elise that everybody plays, you know. So I had to do these obscure modern pieces, and my sister and brother still talks about, oh my gosh, that piece. I don't know if I can remember. It's Prokofiev. I don't offend anybody who's really into Prokofiev. Something like that. Okay, so now I think I'm gonna, so I wanna, it's 12:30. I have a few things that I prepared, and I was gonna play a little bit of the Un Sospiro. Maybe I'll just play. Maybe I won't talk too much about it. Again, I steal pieces from my students. Several of my students play this piece, Un Sospiro. It's by Liszt, and it means a sigh. It's just, the melody is so beautiful. I would like to play it, be able to play it better. I mean, I could fake it for my students, but I've never really practiced it. So it's another just amazing, gorgeous piece. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Piano music doesn't get more, well, it gets pretty complicated, but this is quite complicated. So you see how, like, you know, it starts, and we have the grand staff, and then you see we have like the 3 staffs, and we have to read all 3 staffs, and that's because, how do I say it? This is the melody. But then underneath, with our 2 hands, we're doing like extended arpeggio. So why we're doing this, like this is actually, you know, multiple people should be playing this, right? But we're gonna, you know, we're piano players. We can do anything. We are so evolved. And we're gonna do this extended arpeggio with the melody using 2 hands, because we can. And Liszt wrote it this way. So, okay, let me try. So a little bit about Liszt. Please don't ask me about music history very much. I love to talk about theory, but I'm really not very good with music history. I just know like the base basic information about it. But by the time Liszt was composing and playing, piano became this almost like this very prodigy-oriented thing where people were playing big pieces and really pushing the boundary of what the piano can do and pianists can do. It all started with actually like time of Beethoven, because Beethoven's time is the first time when we had like the modern piano. And so something like this, the point is that it's meant to be memorized, because without memorizing, it's just too many things to look at. You wouldn't be able to like do justice to this piece. So the next part is even more. It goes, you have to do octave with the left hand, and then right hand, left hand, right hand. So something like this. People ask, like, how do you know what to play, the distance? All of this is practice. Like, I'm using these two fingers to play the octave. It's not easy, but with practice, you get there. So it's a mindful practice. I was thinking about it earlier when I was thinking about talking to you. There is a diminished return point to practice, where if you're just like unable to really focus on what you're doing and unable to like get something out of it, then you start losing that attention. And then the more you play, you're going to practice with more mistakes or bad habits. And all of that is going to be remembered by your brain. So if you feel a little bit tired, just change to something. Or, walk and like do push-ups or something. Or, I don't know, squats. And come back and practice. Okay. I also wanted to show you something different, special. Oh, by the way, the Poulenc is in this book. This is one of my favorite books because of the title. Keep calm and play on. Isn't that so true? Oh my gosh, we need this. Okay. So yeah, so someone is asking about the experience in the course. So if you're in the course and you would like to reply, please reply. Hey, the course is fun. Great, I'm having fun, Kristina. Okay, thank you. Yeah, making these courses has been total different way of like exercising my creativity as well as discipline. And I have to say that all those things are things that I learned by learning to be a musician. I started piano when I was 8, and yeah, it's just been part of my life. There's more story, but I'm gonna try to do this like once a month, so I'll tell you more stories as we go on. So I talk a lot about chords, understanding the structure of music, and often this is used in non-classical music, but I really, really highly recommend understanding theory and applying. I call it applied music theory. I've had students who come like after they've had a different teacher for some time, and then when I ask like, do you know this or that, they can answer music theory, but when it comes to application on how to play, a lot of times they didn't know. Okay, so like filling out like exercises, like worksheets without connection to the key is not useful. It's just gonna make you think more than you need to, and it can even actually confuse you or hinder you. Okay, so, but I want you to like incorporate the understanding of the theory as you go forward in your playing. And this is a great example of what you can do. So this is called Bach fake book. You know that Bach is like, especially the fugues are one of the hardest things to learn because you have like multiple melodies going on at the same time. 2, 3, 4. And as a piano player, not only has to play those notes at the same time, but we have to keep the different melody going and bringing out the right motif at the right time. So Bach is difficult. Now, that's I just talked about piano music there, but also there's like plenty of other kinds of Bach's compositions that is much easier to approach if you understand chords. So for example, this is Cantata 156. This is not piano keyboard music. Okay, do you see how it has the melody and it has the chords? And you can listen to this. It's for a chamber group with like oboe strings and multiple instruments. But by just looking at the chords, and I know what it sounds like, you should listen to how it sounds. You can start just incorporating chords into it, like some melodies. Now I'm gonna just like play the chords with my left hand as simply as possible. It's so beautiful, right? This melody is so beautiful. I should, actually that's kind of what I'm thinking for those people in my first course. I'm visioning my next course, as you know, like I sent the email about it. I want to incorporate some of these really beautiful classical melodies and make them into more of a modern pieces for you that's approachable for your level. So now I'm going to try to like play just using these chords in the kind of style of this piece. Let me see those chords like C and then E flat. I'm going to try to do those few measures again because I didn't catch all those notes. Yeah, Yeah, and what I love about this kind of playing is that you can just really focus on the melody. I tell students all the time, like, drop the notes if you cannot bring out the melody. You know, even like a completely written music. Actually, I did find keyboard arrangement of this, and you know, especially piano players get too obsessed with playing like many notes. But if you can just bring that melody out and the bass, I mean, there's so much magic in it. That's just the bass. And then your game is like, how can you make this melody as beautiful as possible? You see how I play so slowly? Like, I should start a movement. Don't play too fast. Yeah. Okay, so that was Bach. Okay, 12:45. Let's see. Okay, all right. Counterpoint. Thank you, Catherine. Do I know you, Catherine? Yeah, I know you, Catherine, I think. Okay. Any more questions? I was at the National Conference for Keyboard Pedagogy in Chicago in July. And one of my favorite things to do at conference is to like look for new music. I just, you know, it's so important for me to have variety of music because students go through seasons in their lives where they need different things. So I like to just like have more than what I need. And so this is like, so I just got this Brock chart. I didn't even know about him until I went to the conference, and he composes like really beautiful modern kind of pieces. So I'm gonna play a little bit of this. And this might be a great piece for some of you. It's not a beginner piece, but it's not too far from a beginner piece either. He's calling it intermediate difficulty. So what's really fun is the time signature. It's 9/8, and then it goes to 7/8. So when you have something like 9/8, you have to, it's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da, 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 da. But when you have 7/8, like how do you count? We don't want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can do it when you're practicing really slowly, but to the piece, you want to group the counting. So if you look at how the beams are divided, it's 4 plus 3. You can even think of it as 2 plus 2 plus 3. Da, 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 da. So I think it's going to be such a fun piece for one of my students for a recital. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I was wrong. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1. Too complicated. I'll stop there. But anyways, I just wanted to introduce you to that piece and this composer. Check him out. Let's see. I'm gonna check the comments. All right. I'm just gonna spend like 5 more minutes on something that's also a little different. I've been listening to this I've been listening to Monty Alexander. He's a Cuban, is he Cuban? No, Jamaican jazz pianist. And I've seen him live like some years ago, maybe like before the pandemic in Seattle at the Jazz Alley. It was like a blind date. And this guy, like he took me to Jazz Alley. He was smart and I had a great time. There was only one date. But yeah, I remember watching this concert and just having tears in my eyes. Like, I don't know, something about it was so moving. So I was reminded of him recently. So I started listening to some of his music, and he has a album called Monty Alexander, Stir It Up, the music of Bob Marley. Let's see. And I think you'll all recognize this. I've been listening to it and I thought I should learn this by ear. You can hear it? Women no cry. No, women no cry. So it starts with this. Oh, I love that organ. Ah, electric guitars, beautiful. Anyway, you should listen to it. So I thought I should try to learn this, some piano part, okay, by ear. So first we have to figure out what the key this is. Oh, I love him. It's in the key of C. First, I want to listen to the melody. I don't know what the rest of it is. I think that's close enough. So we are always listening for the melody and the bass, okay? And we fill in the other notes in between. But those are the two most important things for you to catch when you're listening something and learning. That was wrong. Ah, there we go. That's great. Oh, I want to get that. Yeah. I think that's it. No. So after the this time, I'm gonna try to play all of that intro. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Maybe I'll continue to learn and then share with you more. Let's see, more questions. Yes, Bob Marley. How long have I been teaching? I started teaching when I was a teenager, like 16 years old. I started teaching piano to make money for my own piano tuition. That's how I started. And then I taught until I graduated from college at University of Washington. It's a piano major. But I was like, I don't want to teach piano. I don't get it. I'm not getting any joy out of it. So I left teaching piano. I said, I never want to teach piano again. Never say never, right? Oh my gosh. And it's when I turned 40, I came back to doing music full time and teaching piano. So that's like, you know, I didn't focus in piano. I wasn't playing any classical music for like 17 years. There's a whole story about it, which I'm sure the more I do this, I will talk about. And it's when I started at age 40, I said, I'm going to be the kind of teacher that I want to be. And I'm going to incorporate all of my life experiences into my teaching and my business. And this is the most creative work that I've ever done, because it is true to who I am. And it's been just amazing. I mean, I recognize some names here who are joining me today, and I have heard like amazing feedback and connections. Like this is like amazing, right? I haven't even met any of you in person, but I feel close to you. And you know, I still teach my private students here in Bellevue, Washington. And yeah, I just think it's not easy being a full-time musician. You have to be constantly remaking yourself. It's really interesting. When you think about how Beethoven taught piano, the way that I teach piano is probably quite similar. But the times have changed. So as piano teacher, I have to work with the students where they're at, where their culture. And I mean, how amazing is this YouTube thing, right? Okay, so I want to make sure that I let you go by 1 o'clock, so I'm going to try to answer. Thank you, Anthony, for asking that question. Can you talk a bit about your next intermediate course that's coming out in January 2026? My goal with teaching piano is not to teach piano. I mean, I love the piano. I think you can tell. But my goal is to open up the world of music for you. And piano is an amazing instrument to do that. So I want you to play piano well, but at the end of the day, I really want you to understand how music works. And I never force or like tell my students to go into music, but I already have like multiple students who have gone to become composers, jazz musicians, like professional musicians. And I think it's because I teach them to understand music. So this intermediate course is going to be very much geared towards really bringing you a comprehensive experience and understanding of music. Like if you wanted to do classical music and read music, I want to prepare you for that. But let's say you want to do more of like modern music and really understand like improvisation or playing with chords. I want to prepare you for that. So it will have, every module will have a technical exercise and then the application. So some of those pieces are going to be my own pieces. Other pieces are going to be, I'm probably going to use some classical music to recompose the themes into a new composition. So I hope that was good for now. There's a beautiful story, very inspiring. I live in Washington. Hi, Catherine, again. Okay, so I think that's it. Thank you. And in October, we are going to be celebrating the 1-year anniversary of Simple and Beautiful Piano, launched last year at on October 10th. So there's going to be a little more activities and events around it, maybe another YouTube Live. I am thinking about it. And the price is going to go up after October 10th. So if you're my student and you know people who are interested, or you are interested in my course, this is the time to sign up. As you know, the value of the course is way beyond $200 or $300. I mean, this really reflects how I teach in private lessons. And yeah, students pay, of course, thousands of dollars to study with me in a year. All right. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Sunshine. And thanks for moderating. Very cool. And I'm excited for the next course. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Ken. Oh, these are all my students. Oh my gosh, I just want to cry. Oh my gosh, as I get older, I get more like, emotional too. Yeah. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's so wonderful to connect with you all. It means a lot that you joined me today. So I am going to end my broadcast. I hope I know how to do that. Okay, bye-bye.